Hey everyone, today we are going to talk capacitors, and we are going to shoot out two different sets of paper and oil capacitors in a Gibson Les Paul. We're going to put a set of vitamin Qs up against a set of a reproduction, a very high quality reproduction of the classic Bumblebees, to see if you can hear a difference, what the difference is, what kind of sound we're even talking about here. So let's get started off with some tone, then we're going to talk about it a little bit. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. So, capacitors. Now, some people right off the bat will tell you that this is snake oil, that this is voodoo. I personally think they make a difference. I have found a difference in different capacitors to the point where I seek out certain ones. Now, I wouldn't necessarily go crazy bonkers over it, especially when it comes to cost, and it's certainly easy to do if you can do your own soldering. If you can't do your own soldering, and if you're looking at really expensive things, then it might be something to kind of tone down a little bit. That being said, like I said, I do think it makes a difference, and I've personally found it makes a difference. I found that some capacitors have more of a brightness to them. Some capacitors have more of a smoothness to them. So again, today we're looking at two high-quality paper and oil sets. Now, this is sponsored by Jupiter Condenser Company, who I've also done a speaker review with, and the capacitors come from them. Really high quality, again, and the Bumblebee set in particular is a vintage repro, really close to the famous Bumblebees of the old Gibson guitars. The Bumblebees are a good one to kind of talk about because they are one of the ingredients, we'll say, to the classic Gibson tone, which is so sought after. You know, of course, it's not just PAF, and even if PAF, what is PAF tone? And there were a lot of things that came into play in those old guitars. The pots and the components were definitely part of it, and pots also make a big difference to your tone. This Les Paul is loaded with a set of Bourne's 500K pots, FYI, so that's what it's going into, and it's a Les Paul Classic. Now, you just heard on the neck pickup, and obviously working with the tone and the volume a little bit, it makes sense given what capacitors do and how they affect your tone. To my ear, there is a difference in tone between these two. The Vitamin Qs seem a little brighter, and the Bumblebees have a bit more of a smoothness and a woodiness to them, kind of an even quality to them. Is it subtle? It's subtle. It's a subtle difference, but again, it's one that I noticed. It's not so subtle that you don't pick up on it. At least I picked up on it. Now, I'm going to link to the website where you can find information on these components more specifically and really get that kind of spec info directly from the source. So if you're interested in looking into it further, follow the link below. You can learn more. So again, you've just heard it clean on the neck. Now we're going to do Overdriven on the bridge. Now today I'm plugging into my Mesa Boogie Nomad and just using the amplifier's tones in this one. So for the first part, I was on the green channel. For the next part, I'm going to be on the orange channel, giving you every tone straight from the amplifier. And do the same thing. We're going to play around with the volume and the tone a little bit so that you can hear how the capacitors sound in the guitar, in the wiring, and how they interact when you work with the volume and the tone. Let us know in the comments. What do you think of these two capacitors? What do you think of capacitors in general? Are they something that you've ever experimented with, found that they made much of a difference? One of the classic ones that's out there right now as a kind of an upgrade over cheap stock ones would be the orange drop caps, which orange drop caps can certainly be an upgrade over a lot of wiring harnesses, and there have been some times when I've enjoyed them. Overall, I haven't liked them as much as paper and oil, but again, I think they're definitely a step up. As far as paper and oil go, these are definitely the highest quality ones that I've played. I have played a lot of different paper and oil capacitors of various makes and things, and these two really do stand out. And the Bumblebees, I tell you, I do really like the Bumblebee capacitors. But let us know what you think, what you like. Stick around for some tone from the bridge pickup, for some overdriven tone. I'm Jack Fossett. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.